The founder and CEO of a software company called pcTattletale just pleaded guilty to federal charges. The federal charges were for manufacturing, distributing, and advertising surveillance software designed to intercept communications without consent. In other words, he was selling stalkerware, software for stalkers. But there's over 100 companies in the same industry operating right now, openly. So the question I want to answer in this episode is, when does monitoring software cross the line from perfectly legal to a federal crime? There are apps right now available for download that can monitor someone's location, read their texts, track their browsing history, and even record their phone calls. And they're completely legal. Bryan Software did the exact same things, but he's facing up to 15 years in prison. The difference comes down to one word, and that word is consent. The primary law here is the Electronic Communications Privacy Act. This was passed in 1986. The relevant section is called the Wiretap Act. It makes it illegal to intercept someone's communication, and it prohibits selling devices whose primary purpose is illegal interception. But get this, monitoring software isn't illegal. The same technology can be completely lawful or completely criminal, depending on how it's used. There are three scenarios where monitoring software is completely legal. First, you have your own devices. You can install whatever you want on phones and computers you own. If you want to track your phone if it gets stolen, that's legal. If you want to monitor what happens on your home computer, that's legal. It's your property, your rules. The second scenario is monitoring minor children's phones. Parents generally have legal authority to monitor their kids' devices. The courts have consistently upheld this. You can install parental control software on your 14-year-old's phone without their permission, and that's legal. The logic is that parents have both the right and responsibility to protect their children. And our third scenario is employee monitoring with disclosure. Employees can monitor company-owned devices, but there is a catch. Employees have to be informed. You can't secretly spy on workers, but you can tell them, hey, this is a company laptop and it's being monitored. But here's where the loophole comes in. Companies that make monitoring software market their products for legal uses. Parental controls, employment monitoring, lost device tracking. They put disclaimers in their terms of service saying that the software should only be used for lawful purposes. And as long as their primary purpose is legitimate, they're in the clear. But what Bryan did was completely different. When federal agents searched his emails, they found message after message after message from customers asking for help spying on their boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, and wives. And Bryan wasn't telling them no. He was actually helping them. One customer was worried that pcTattletale might show up on her boyfriend's credit card statement. And Bryan offered to make the charge appear as a generic computer scan so the boyfriend wouldn't know. That's completely illegal, and that's helping someone commit a crime. So the line is pretty clear once you understand it. Monitoring an adult without their knowledge or consent is illegal. Full stop. It doesn't matter if you're married, it doesn't matter if you suspect infidelity, and it doesn't matter if you own the phone or pay for the cell plan. If another adult uses that device as their primary phone, secretly monitoring their communications violates federal wiretapping laws. The Wiretap Act requires that at least one party to a communication consents to interception. When you secretly install spyware on your partner's phone, neither party is consenting. Not you because you're not part of the conversation, and not them because they don't know. The software itself did what lots of monitoring apps do. It captured screenshots, it logged messages, it tracked location. It uploaded everything to servers where the person who installed it could access the data remotely. But Bryan was marketing it as a tool for spying on your spouses and partners. He ran banner ads that said, "Catch a cheater." Homeland Security started investigating pcTattletale in June of 2021. While looking at over 100 websites selling stalkerware, pcTattletale stood out because of how blatant the marketing was. A federal agent went undercover as an affiliate marketer, and Bryan sent him banner ads to use and told him that there's a lot more women wanting to catch their man than there are the other way around. That same agent also posed as a customer, pretending to be a woman trying to install pcTattletale on her boyfriend's phone, and Bryan personally replied offering to help. So by July 2022, federal agents had a warrant to search his emails. They found years of correspondence with customers seeking help spying on romantic partners. And again, Bryan wasn't just selling the software, he was actively assisting with illegal surveillance. The investigation was still building when everything blew up in May of 2024. A hacker exploited a vulnerability that got access to pcTattletale's entire backend, and they defaced the website and posted gigabytes of stolen data publicly. The breach exposed over 138,000 customer accounts. It revealed private text messages and IP addresses, device information, and according to one researcher who analyzed the data, over 300 million screenshots from more than 10,000 devices. After this, Bryan tried to shut everything down. He deleted the website and tried to wipe all the servers. He sold his home in November of 2025 and pleaded guilty to the federal charges in January 6th of 2026. His lawyer claims that he genuinely had no idea that he was violating any laws. But the emails telling customers how to hide purchases from their partners suggest otherwise. It's worth mentioning commercial spyware that's sold to governments. The same legal principles still apply even at the high end of the market. The NSO group made Pegasus. It's the most notorious government spyware. Unlike consumer stalkerware that needs physical access to install, Pegasus can infect devices remotely through zero-click exploits, and there's no user interaction required. The NSO claimed that they only sold to vetted governments for law enforcement purposes, but Pegasus was found on phones of journalists, activists, and political dissidents worldwide. In May of 2025, a jury ordered that the NSO group pay $160 million to Meta for using Pegasus to exploit WhatsApp. The court found NSO violated the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. So this is the same principle. You can't hide behind claimed legitimate uses when your product is being used for illegal surveillance and you know it. So if you suspect that stalkerware might have been downloaded onto your device, here are some signs that you can look out for. Unexpected battery drain, increased data usage, the phone running warm while you're not even using it, or apps that you don't recognize with generic names like System Service. Just before I wrap up, Bryan Fleming built software that monitored phones and computers, but so do a lot of companies. The difference is that he openly marketed his product for illegal purposes. He helped customers spy on partners without consent. He bragged about the software being undetectable. The technology wasn't the crime, it was the intent.